This is the mugshot that made Meeks famous. I found the link directly to a Facebook post, but it appears to have been deleted when I went directly to it. As a kid, he dreamed about being a fireman, policeman, or NBA player. He talks about how he was amongst high black society and invited to a brunch hosted by the George Floyd Foundation. He relates to the cause and talks about relating to being victimized by police brutality and was eager to support the cause. The first day he dared to dream was inside a federal prison. His mother was raised in a strict household where the grandmother, and when she ran away at 13, she found out that her father wasn't her birth father since her birth certificate had a different last name. She had a pattern of drug use and abusive relationships. She was pregnant at 17 with Meeks' sister, Leanna, and the father disappeared after cleaning the bank accounts. She had another child with a man named Eldon and had Meeks' sister, Camilla. Eldon and her broke up, and she had Jeremy with Ray Emerson Meeks. They were both drug addicts going in and out of clinics. Ray was emotionally and physically abusive, and when Meeks' mother went back to Eldon, he started shooting at them while they were driving in Eldon's van. Despite this, she went back to him and had his brother, Emery. Eventually, she took the kids, and in trying to find the family, Ray murdered his mother's best friend. Meeks wouldn't see his father again until he was 30, where his father tried to hustle $5,000 from him. Meeks' mother eventually kicked the heroin addiction and was a caretaker until his sister, Leanna, became older. Meeks was a delinquent. He stole, he smoked cigarettes, and he broke people's windows because it was fun. He was diagnosed with ADHD. School was terrible for Meeks. School staff weren't compassionate and kids bullied him. School faculty didn't try to understand him. They just wanted him to conform. He was prescribed Ritalin, and when he told the doctors that it made him feel like a zombie, they just increased the dosage. They had no interest in understanding Meeks at all. Meeks was barely functional. They just kept increasing the dosage even more. His mother would drop him off at his grandma's house when the pressure was too much for her. She was a runner. She ran away from her problems. His mother hooked up with a scumbag boyfriend named Jack, who physically abused Jeremy. Jack almost kidnapped him. When he got older, his sister legally took guardianship of him and his siblings. He grew up in a town called Medical Lake, as his sister was stationed on a nearby airbase. He got off Ritalin and felt alive and responsive again. He takes responsibility for his decision to join a gang. He doesn't blame his circumstances. He joined the Crips because he was looking for a father figure. He was an angry kid and ended up in juvenile detention in middle school for getting into a fight. He sold weed in middle school and was snitched on immediately. He had a friend named Shelby and stayed with her family. The mother was called Mama Donna, who worked at a modeling agency. Mama Donna suggested that Meeks get into modeling and acting. Meeks didn't see himself getting into those careers at the time. He eventually got sent into a group home for his own protection, which was full of corrupt counselors. These counselors would sell weed to the people they're supposed to be counseling, since their jobs paid very little. They would use everyone as enforcers against each other to pay up. The counselors were bullies themselves. They only cared about looking good to the government to continue stealing money. And the ones that weren't involved kept silent because they didn't want to come into conflict with their co-workers. One day, someone broke a counselor's car windshield and the counselor attacked Meeks because he thought he had done it. Meeks had his beautiful girlfriend pick him up in her Mazda 626 and went on a run the next day. He stole almost $2,000 every day while on the run. He got shot in the leg during a gang war. 2 weeks later, he was jumped with baseball bats. His L1 vertebrae in his spine was irreversibly damaged. He urinated blood for 6 days because of the damage to his kidneys. He was thrown into San Quentin prison at 18. It was there he met Charles Manson. Charles screamed radical slurs at him, and Meeks noticed that he got duffel bags full of mail every night. He saw Tookie Williams, one of the founders of the Crips, and was punished for throwing gang signs at him. In 2005, he got into Christianity because he was influenced by Pastor Dempsey, and that's how he started believing that God had a plan for him. Pastor Dempsey told him that God had a bigger plan for him than he could imagine. He was transferred into Tracy State Prison, where he met this tall and beautiful nurse named Melissa. Within a few days, he was transferred to San Quentin and started exchanging letters with her. Melissa picked him up from prison and started a relationship with him. He got swallowed while he was with her and her children because he was on a parole and a gang member. At the time, he feared that Melissa would leave him because of the trauma from being swallowed. A beating from the cops later, he had a son with Melissa named Bear. He visited his 6-year-old father, who hadn't changed at all. His father was caught up with drugs and violence, and even asked Meeks to procure drugs for him. He became a forklift driver and later became the shift supervisor. A law enforcement task force called Operation Ceasefire found a firearm in Meeks' car. Meeks, a felon, wasn't legally allowed to own a firearm, so he was arrested. This is where the famous Stockton Police Department photo came from. He had been out of prison for nearly 7 years and had already served 8.5 years in total, and all he could think about was his son. He confessed to a reporter that he owned a gun for personal protection, believing he wasn't being recorded. He started receiving hundreds of letters nightly. Meeks said that state prison guards were nice, but federal police prison guards were cruel. The federal staff were jealous of Meeks' success and physically abused him. When Meeks started taking acting classes, his acting coach was into astrology and predicted that Meeks would leave Melissa for another woman. Meeks thought to himself, damn, that dude was right. Meeks was sentenced to 27 months when he could have been sentenced for twice that because there was a sympathetic judge who wanted him to be able to take advantage of his newfound opportunities. He ended up serving more time because he was caught with a knife, as he didn't feel protected by guards. He made $10,000 on his first gig. He felt accepted because he wasn't asked to cover up his tattoos. He signed a $15 million deal to develop his own fashion brand. He was paid for a year until the agreement was breached by the other party. He had 2 authority figures helping him. The judge let him travel outside the United States for work, and his parole officer let him travel around the states and also let him off parole early. Meeks acknowledges his luck with the opportunities that were given to him, and he treats everyone equally because fundamentally he realizes that we're all the same. The first time Melissa joined him for a modeling gig was for a trip to London. The immigration officers made a big show out of denying Meeks from entering the United Kingdom while he was technically still in the airport because the government wanted to send a message. They had already approved the visa but extradited him anyway. Having to travel constantly and getting constant attention from women strained his relationship with Melissa. He knew the relationship was over. He was happy that people like him could make something out of themselves without having a spotless past. He went to this fashion show by Philip Plein, where celebrities such as Paris Hilton, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Tobey Maguire were. He felt welcomed in their circles. When he met Chloe, He didn't know that she was a billionaire heiress. When they got together, he thought about how the media would spin it as a criminal dating a billionaire's daughter, but he stopped caring about what other people thought of him. Melissa found out about the affair when the media released a picture of them together on a yacht off the coast of Turkey. He had a new busybody parole officer who was more interested in Chloe than in checking in on Jeremy. The parole officer, in her puke green pantsuits and wrinkled button-ups, was deeply jealous as she inspected their home. Meeks described her as miserable and said that she was more interested in bombarding Chloe with invasive questions than speaking with Jeremy. Meeks still has pain from the baseball beating he got early in his life, and so he resorted to opioids to endure the pain. He became addicted to Norcos and OxyContin. He described doctors as pharmaceutical salesmen. Doctors didn't ask him about his medical or family history to see if he would develop an addiction, nor did they inform him about the potential to becoming addicted. He had a child with Chloe and was worried about being excluded by her family. In reality, they welcomed him with open arms. Bear was able to integrate into the Green family and enroll in a private school. Meeks started having anxiety, and that's when the relationship started breaking down. He realized he wasn't going to feel better, so he ended the relationship with Chloe. Meeks started doing charity and visiting group homes like the one he grew up in. He talked about how he didn't have proper role models that visited when he was living in one. They were rich businessmen who he couldn't relate to.
What's up, everybody? We are on our way to the valley to go spend time with the kids. They are bringing 5 different group homes together, and I'm gonna share my testimony and just spend time with them. But I brought the boys, and it's going down. It's gonna be fun. I wish I could bring the kids and put them on my Instagram. They would love that, but since they're juveniles, I am not allowed to do that. But this is going to be an incredible time that we're going to get to spend with them. It's actually been a while since I've been able to. What's up, everybody? I am here. Hillary just informed me that they are receiving donations, so I will put some information on there. I urge everyone to step it up and give. It's a time to help. We all need help sometimes, and if you could meet these kids, I wish I could put them on my Instagram because you guys would fall in love. But please give back. I'll put info on there so you can donate.
Around 2020, he talked about how his friends were addicted to opioids because he enabled them. He felt guilty for doing so, as he played a part in the addiction. He cried a lot when he heard about George Floyd because he could relate to the police brutality. He went on Good Morning Britain to speak out against injustice. One day he saw some homeless people getting harassed by an older couple, and when he confronted them, they shouted, "Don't kill us." They wanted people around them to believe that he was threatening them. Throughout the book, he only feels concerns for uplifting people, preventing police brutality, preventing people from getting into crime, and giving people as many opportunities to succeed. He puts family first, always tries to connect with people and help people who helped him, speaks out against Big Pharma, and tries to heal from his past. Meeks was very insecure as he was running in these elite circles and was always afraid he would be rejected for being an outsider. He wanted to be known more than for being the hot mugshot guy. He sees himself as someone who was put on earth to open doors for other people.
I'm telling you guys, anything is possible. Don't ever get up. Keep grinding, keep hustling, shoot for your dreams. You can do anything you want. I promise you. You just have to take that first step. Take that hard step of actually doing something.
I know it seems that he's trolling, but he's being genuine here. He had a worse childhood than what most people criticizing him had, and spent 8.5 years inside the prisons before his mugshot and had to serve more than 27 months afterwards. He said violent, then absent father who to this day doesn't care about him.
How different is your life now than it was pre that mugshot?
I don't even know how to answer that. Scary, you know, lots of violence, lots. You know, before that mugshot, I had already done 8.5 years in state prison.
From the clips of him, you might infer that all he cares about is money and being a Casanova, but he's not like that. It's fun for him to blow money, but he never brags about how much money he has because he knows that he's just lucky to have the opportunities to earn and understands that money is meant to be spent. You can't take money to the grave, so just spend it enjoying life.
They're always going to call for money. Everyone always needs money. So I find myself, just in today, I've already given $9,000-$10,000 away. I went to the bank 3 different times, you know, I'm wiring money all over. It's, you know, but at the same time, this is what it's for. If I can't do good with the money, then why? You know, what is it for? You know, it feels good to help people, and I can do that now. I've done a lot for my mom, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've bought her all kind of stuff. She's very well taken care of now.
To paraphrase what you said from the book, as long as you wake up, you have another chance.